Hey guys, this is Anime Ball Z here, and today we're going to be doing the fourth part of What If Naruto Was a Fox Age. Please like as it really helps with the algorithm, and please tell me anything that I can improve on for the next part once you finish the video so I can make this What If as great as possible. I just want to say that What If Goku Was a Legendary Super Saiyan is coming soon. I need to finish off this What If, and because many things change since Sasuke stays in the village, many arcs just become useless and I don't cover them. For example, the Tenchi Bridge mission arc just doesn't happen because Sasuke's in the village still, so they don't have to go out of the village looking for him. You'll see as I get into the video now. There's nothing much else I want to say in the intro, so without further ado, let's get into the video.
Winter time, all the time, ooh, yeah. Look at the way that I move, swag, disrespectful and I'm rude, okay. I had cocaine in the school.
Naruto gets a bad memory once he sees this form. The last time he saw this, Sasuke was beating him senseless with it and honestly just trying to kill him. However, he seems far more calm and controlled, certainly not as much as in his normal form, but much better than before. Sasuke steps ahead and makes several swift hand signs. He then blows out deep and blazing flames right into the darkness of the forest, revealing Kakashi. Naruto runs right ahead with Sasuke, who takes flight instead. Naruto lands on Kakashi's branch and throws a full force punch. Kakashi blocks it but is forced off the branch into an entire tree. Sasuke spins out of the way of the tumbling tree and shouts, "Watch where you're hitting." He then retracts his wings and dives down, punching Kakashi onto the ground. He rolls away, then Naruto comes in from the side and knees him in the elbow. He might have a Sharingan, but these kids' movements are phenomenal. Sasuke comes in low for a blow to the liver, but Kakashi parries with both hands. However, it leaves him wide open for a punch right to his jaw. He stumbles to the side and awaits any further attacks with a tight guard. Naruto speeds ahead and throws a ranged hook. Kakashi easily dodges the attack, but Naruto flips and throws two more kicks, both being dodged. Even with these unsuccessful attacks, he doesn't hold back and continues the offensive fighting. He throws a hook from above with his left and tries an uppercut from low with his right. Both are blocked by Kakashi, but it leaves him wide open for a kick right on his chest. It sends him sliding several meters and forces Kakashi to grasp his chest in pain. Naruto then punches him in the jaw after blurring at him. Kakashi spins right around from the force and Naruto grabs him from behind. He pulls him right off the ground and throws him into the air. Sasuke then comes right in from far behind the combat and uses his flapping Chidori to launch Kakashi into the ground. From the surprising impact, he actually drops the bells and Naruto swipes him off the ground, throwing one to Sasuke. These kids have gotten so strong that it's scary. Imagine if they were truly trying to kill him. Good job. Could have gone a little easier on me, but good job. Sasuke's wings fall right back into his back after shrinking and he says, "Why would I go easy?" Naruto expels his natural energy and returns to his normal form. Unfortunately for Sasuke, Naruto didn't actually use his top form and didn't even dabble into his true arsenal. Sasuke was too deep in showing off his own personal powers that he wasn't able to notice Naruto visibly holding back some attacks and powers. Once Team Kakashi hears of the capturing of Gaara, they leave for Tsunakakure. Naruto is equipped with his usual gear and makes sure to practice sensing natural energy when he's able to be perfectly still. It keeps him calmer and maintains his skill with Sage Mode. Eventually, Naruto, Sasuke and Kakashi meet up with Itachi. Once Sasuke sees Itachi, he almost gets blinded by rage. "You don't know how much stronger I've gotten, brother." Sasuke insists, preparing for battle. Sasuke already knows not to look into his glaring red Sharingan, and Kakashi informs Naruto of this too. Naruto knows how strong Itachi is, and luckily not looking in his eyes isn't a problem for Naruto at all. He calls upon Kurama's chakra and it floods around his entire body. He then balances his chakra against natural energy as a whole. He does it perfectly and he forms his strongest transformation as of now, Kurama Chakra Fox Sage Mode. He makes a battle stance and reveals two kunai. They both engulf in his raging Sage Chakra. Sasuke grows into the second stage of his curse mark and Kakashi reveals his Sharingan. The three strong ninja prepare for battle and all Itachi does is smile coldly. No one is able to see it though because they're analysing his footwork and body movement. Sasuke comes out of the blue with his fireball jutsu. With it much more improved, it scorches the ground and covers a very large area. Itachi is forced to flip right over into the side of the fire to evade it. Naruto runs forwards and catches the Sharingan users by surprise. They are only able to perfectly see him because of the Sharingan. If not, his legs would be a blur. Naruto swings his kunai at Itachi but he bops his head back and dodges. Naruto spins with his knees bent and swings at his lower quad area. However, he only manages to cut the Akatsuki cloak. The two cloths drop in between them, then Naruto leaps up with a knee. Itachi flies back with blood dripping down his mouth. Naruto raises an eyebrow and says back to the group, "This can't be the real Itachi, can it?" Sasuke also notices the weakness he has. Naruto seems to have shaken him up with a single attack. Sasuke just takes the chance and runs ahead with his sleek sword that glistens under the sunlight. He slashes and cuts right through his body before infusing his sword with blazing fire chakra. He strikes down with immeasurable force and destroys the ground before flapping off his feet feet with his wings. As he dives down, he cuts his opponent right at the lower neck area. Blood spurts out from the wound and he stabs his fiery sword into his chest before punching him away. The punch almost snaps his jaw and leaves him on one knee and palm. Sasuke approaches him with his demonic wings moving around and his hair slightly flowing. How dare you say you're my brother? He takes a slight leap then slams the man into the ground with just a stomp. He creates a small crater from the attack alone. He elegantly sheathes his sword and walks back, shifting back into his normal form. Kakashi just blocks his Sharingan again and Naruto falls out of Sage Mode 2. There was really no use for this form right now. It wasn't even the real Itachi, which was certainly a bummer for Sasuke. The group meets up with Team Guy after a little while of running and are met by a large rock wall. Sakura is the one to step up and with even more power than before, she shatters the entire rock apart. The rock comes crumbling down and Sasori and Deidara are revealed. After Naruto hearing how they've been treating and are planning to treat Gaara, he is bubbling with rage. Someone just like him has been taken to be killed just for the power within them. He can't stand for it. Naruto engulfs in Kurama's chakra and uses far more than usual. He gains several fox-like features and then falls into perfect Sage Mode. His aura also lets loose around him, cracking the rock at his feet with every stream of power being energetically released. Naruto then runs at Sasori and reveals the large shuriken that he used within the actual fighting canon. A devilish aura of Sage Chakra engulfs the weapon and he hurls it at Sasori's puppet. It hits the tail and actually slices right through it, sending a few cracks down the center of the tail too. It surprises Deidara and forces him to try and intervene. Naruto strikes down with a heel kick that shatters the front piece of the puppet. He then throws a powerful right hook at the puppet head. He literally bends it in half and strikes the center of the puppet so hard that it breaks apart and reveals Sasori, who he pulls out and launches across the room. Naruto picks up the large shuriken right back up and with the help of his Sage Mode swings directly through an incoming C1 bomb. This explodes in front of him, but it's so small that it doesn't cause too much damage to him. Naruto holds the shuriken ahead at such speed that even Deidara can't evade it. It stabs into his chest and Naruto runs ahead and punches him in the chest so hard that 4 separate ribs snap. He rips the shuriken right from his chest and swings upwards and to the side, landing 2 deep slashes. Both slashes heavily injure Deidara and one actually cuts through one of his eyes. Naruto then pulls the shuriken to the side and kicks Deidara very powerfully across the rocky room. He senses the disruption in natural energy in the surroundings and also senses a bunch of C1 bombs coming at him. Deidara can barely breathe and just uses some of his last efforts to go at Naruto. Swiftly he retrieves a kunai from his pouch and swivels it on his finger, enhancing it with Sage Chakra. He speeds ahead and starts slashing right through the little beads that Sasuke also sees with his activated Sharingan. It shocks him that Naruto, being without a Sharingan, can actually perceive and counter these small white dots. Eventually the C1s are neutralized and Deidara soon starts to puff up. His body gets rather large, but Naruto grabs his body and launches it out of the building with a single throw. He then throws out a regular sized shuriken that on impact ignites the explosion. Explosive energy rushes into the building and actually knocks Sasuke off his feet, who is helping Sakura and Chio fight Sasori. They are doing an incredible job and the explosion aids them in finally subduing him. Naruto falls out of Sage Mode and expels his Kurama Chakra, returning to his original form. He simply walks back to his friends who are far more injured than he is. With Naruto not holding back, he literally took down an Akatsuki member in just a few good attacks. Also, if he used his ultimate attack, then it wouldn't have ended much quicker. His Kurama Chakra Fox Sage Mode Adama Rasengan. That's a mouthful. It's basically when he uses the Adama Rasengan when he goes into perfect Sage Mode with Kurama influence beforehand. This attack is extremely powerful and makes him high Jonin level, if not slightly below Sanin level. It genuinely is insane. When he used it in his training, he literally just destroyed the landscape in which he was training in. This ends the part rather quickly and leaves the group more healthy than in canon. Gaara still gets healed by Chio's exceptional medical ninjutsu and thanks Naruto and his friends for helping him. Kakashi is still able to lead the team and Sasuke doesn't get replaced by Saiyan in this canon since he's still in the village. Sasuke stays in the village and Naruto is much more happy with this too. Since Sasuke isn't gone, there is no need for Team 7 to meddle in the Akatsuki events to try and find Sasuke. This allows for Naruto and the team to actually get a stronger bond. While Naruto is training with Kurama, he gets a new proposal from his mentor. While his eyes are still and he feels the invigorating breeze at his natural energy, Kurama says, "There are 2 things I have left for you to teach you. 1 is a fox summoning and 2 is chakra natures." Naruto stops meditating immediately and asks, "What's that?" The first is a technique that is very similar to the technique of toad summoning that Jiraiya taught you. However, I can allow you to summon powerful foxes with exceptional fighting prowess and ability. Also, a chakra nature is simply an element made from chakra. Sasuke has access to both fire and lightning, but I believe that his affinity is lightning from his variety of controlled jutsu in that field. Yours, you have to find out. How? Naruto inquisitively asks, now more interested in the topic at hand. What you have to do is take a leaf and pour your chakra directly into it. I will then determine your chakra nature after what takes place. Naruto does just that and reveals that the leaf splits into two. What does that mean, he asks. It means that your chakra nature is wind. The most rare of chakra natures, however, can be used in junction with the fox's fire-like abilities. Well, the majority of them have fire chakra natures. You will make a great fighter once you are done with my training. Naruto begins training with these two powers and eventually he is able to develop his wind chakra to the point of infusion with weaponry and also one jutsu, the air bullets jutsu. While practicing in the nearby forest, he performs a jutsu to notice that each bullet can literally cave out wood and bark and he actually causes a tree to collapse. It's actually really handy. As of now, I'd say Naruto is 150% or 2.5 times as strong as his canon self. With this Kurama Chakra Fox Sage mode, it makes him around 75 times his canon base in my opinion. Of course, this is just an estimation since we don't actually know the multipliers for Sage Mode. If I make Sage Mode 15 times, which is plausible, and Kurama Influence 2 times, which is also very plausible, it should make that form's multiplier 30. Place that on his new base and his physical strength is 75 times superior to his base canon itself. However, his speed and other things are probably not as impressive. His strength is easily seen through his athletic physique. His muscles are far larger than any regular ninja of the leaf and he is well known for it. Also, his ability with weaponry and taijutsu far outclasses his canon self, so if you ever was to battle his canon self, it would be over quickly from the bunch of superior stats to his companion. Naruto, while training his summoning, actually succeeds for the first time. It has taken some time, but not as long as in canon. A rather large, around 12 foot tall fox appears that has fearsome red eyes. Its fur is much darker than Kurama's and resembles the other half of Kurama. It's more of a burgundy red type of colour, and he also has just one tail. Greetings Naruto, I will be your fox summoning, but you can just call me Fennec, he declares, slightly denting the mud below his hard paws. Okay Fennec, hi. Naruto says bubbly, waving his hand rather furiously. Fennec just brushes him off and says, I'm here to fight you Naruto, let's see how strong you've become. Fennec actually raises to an upright bipedal position, his claws engulfed in hot red fire as his eyes become bloodshot with fury. He slams his one red tail into the floor before dashing off to face his opponent. Naruto, who has definitely been caught off guard, resorts to Shadow Clone Jutsu and Kurama Influence to start off. He leaps up and his Shadow Clones dive down and engage in combat. Fennec starts going one by one, attacking the different clones with his scorching claws. Fennec blitzes one of the clones and swings, but it dodges. 5 streams of fume reach outward and just completely destroy the tree situated behind the clone. Fennec then slams down on the ground and destroys the annoying clone. He then backhands a nearby clone and it slams into a tree and poofs away. Naruto just watches from below and is simply amazed by the sight of his summoning's power. He literally swatted one of his clones with a single swing. You're not going to beat me from such a distance, Naruto. Come down and fight me like a man. Fennec pulls back his head but then uses his fireball jutsu to launch it into the air. Naruto sees it approaching and hurls down a swift kunai which is infused with the power of wind chakra. Surprisingly, the sharp wind cuts through the harsh fire and almost hits Fennec in the head, but he blocks with his tail. A small drop of blood falls from his furry tail, but he kind of just launches the kunai out of his tail. Naruto dives down from the trees and uses his air bullets jutsu from a distance. Several explosive condensed bullets of air land on Fennec's body and explode on contact with it. He falls back a few steps. Naruto begins using more of Kurama's chakra. A bubbly cloak starts to envelop him and he snarls at the fox ahead of him. However, he is met with a demonic and evil growl that shadows his puppy snarl immediately. Naruto doesn't get intimidated by this though and just gets more motivated to fight this powerful fox being. He runs forward and leaps several meters into the air and kicks Fennec right in the side of his chin. The amazing force actually knocks Fennec's chin right to the side. He leaps off the open shoulder of the large fox, but he gets swatted mid-air and literally falls through a tree entirely. As the tree comes crashing down, Fennec tries to slam Naruto into the ground. His new enhancements allow him to leap right out of the way of the powerful slam. The ground cracks and caves in, exposing thick and wet roots of heavy trees. He swings directly off a branch and leaps off a thicker branch into the open fighting battlefield. As Fennec pulls back into this area, he gets hit by Naruto, who aims in with a powerful headbutt to his chest. He falls back a step but just slams Naruto right into the ground in fury. As Naruto raises up from the ground, several clones appear next to him and charge at the large red fox. In the starting attack, Fennec literally shoots a clone across the battlefield and poofs away when landing in a tree. The clones look in surprise at his amazing power. "Let me show you the true power of Fennec," he shouts with the fire on his fingers blazing wildly. Naruto's clones just don't feel that much fear from the power that he displays and they all growl back. Fennec snarls and reveals his long sharp fangs and prepares to show off his true power. Prepare yourself, Naruto. Fennec might not be the strongest of the foxes to summon, but he is not a pushover. So that will conclude the 4th part of What If Naruto Was a Fox Age Remastered. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this because I certainly enjoyed making it. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video.